why we sink to the bottom in every statistical category imaginable. Because our past was stolen from us. Okay? How do you exercise your melanin? Well, you got to eat right. You got to get the proper amount of rest. You got to stay away from drugs. You got to stay away from drinking. Well, so, Greg, what do you mean eat right? Well, you have to have a natural diet. You have to have vegetables. You have to refrain. I know you like sweets, but just imagine if you're going to exercise your melanin and have access to a greater amount of energy, you have to eat the vegetables from the ground in which you came from. See, in Africa, our ancestors, the children saw what the parents were feeding them. When we got displaced, we never saw what our parents were feeding us. So people who did not want us to maximize our potential fed us anything.
That's right. Yes.
Are you with me, young people? Fed us anything. And when you don't exercise your melanin, and you don't eat pineapples, grapes, have access to an alkaline diet, and I want the parents to understand this too. Help children get the proper nurturing amount of foods. Because that's going to determine how to have. God gave us an ancestral memory. Our mind can store more capacity than any other ethnic group. Did you know that, young people? No. You can store more information than anyone if you decide to exercise and use it. I want to tell you, I can keep going on and on with this because I love the subject. When I love the truth, I can talk about it for days. But there's two films that we need to see. One is What is Melanin? And the second film is What is Melanin to Mankind? These two films are going to explain the chemical of melanin, and the other one is going to explain how God used nature and when he made us. All right? Individual God created. And as you see at the bottom of the form, we have more than anyone. So what does the film pretty much let you all know? The world knows what we have. It's just we don't know. So young people, we turn on each other. We turn the guns and shoot each other. And we don't realize the gift that we have, what God has created us as. Are you listening, young people? So the challenge Family United is issuing to each and every young person from the age of 12 to 18 is to be the best in every category. Prove your enemies, prove America wrong, that you can be the best. That's a challenge. That is a challenge. You are the salt of the earth. The bone of your body comes from the salt of the earth. From the salt of the earth. You understand that? So it's a lot of work that you all need to do. So we want you to enjoy this conference. We want you to have fun. But we want you to learn. We want you to learn. And we want you to be competitive in the 23rd century. Because God needs leaders. And just like God moved those giants off the earth, if you all do not, I repeat, if you all do not come before the glory of God and choose to be the best that he put you to be, because God don't make junk. He's giving you all premium parts. So you can't say, I didn't know. He's giving you premium parts to be the best. And if you do not exercise it, and when Sister Robin starts the teaching session this afternoon, inhale every bit of information that you get, including what I have taught you today. He will move you off this earth Is that understood? Is that digested? Is that retained? So we're going to be the best at what we do. I don't care if you collect the trash. You be the best. That concludes what I had to say. And I hope that you all, if you enjoyed this, we will have pre and post surveys that will probably, you'll be instructed to fill out at the end of your other sessions. But I enjoy that when young people try to be the best at what they can be in life, it makes parents proud, but it makes God proud.
Amen. Amen.
All right?
Everyone close their eyes. And I want them to think about where they're going to be in 5 years from now. Close your eyes. Just think about it. Just close your eyes. Everybody's eyes should be closed right now. Just close and you can get back to writing. Close your eyes. You can get back to writing. Just think about, where am I going to be 5 years from now? 5 years from now. Will I be finished with high school? Or will I have a boyfriend, a girlfriend? Or will I be finished with middle school? Then I want you to take your hands, eyes closed, take your hands, reach out in front of you and open up the palm of your hands. And I want you to think about, if you decide to have a boyfriend, a girlfriend, or get married by the time you're in your 20s, or something once you finish college and all those great things and find a great job, will you have a beautiful wife or a beautiful husband, or will you have 2 or 3 children, or will you be a successful doctor, or will you open up your own business, or whatever you want to do, an engineer or whatever? Think about that. Can you feel it?
I can feel it.
No. Some people say yes, some people say no. But I want you to think about it. Just think about it. Okay, you open up your eyes now. So how I see myself right now, we talk about the person, family member, friend, dating partner. So you should have completed that, and you just keep that in your workbook. That's for you to keep and look at later. So we have what we like to become in the future. So see some of these items up here. We have a strong leader, a good parent, a breadwinner, a caring friend. Are you supportive? Are you caring? Are you dating? Are you married now? Are you committed to that person? And how do I see myself currently? You know, these are things, you know, am I supportive to my sister? I'm on a basketball team. I have a good friend. Now, what we're going to do next, I want you to write something about, and that's on lesson, what do you have there, lesson 2? Okay. We talked about possible selves earlier today, and we talked about what does that look like, and you built your tree, like your tree of life, and what values to you. You mentioned that you can be a better friend, possibly you can be a better sister, a better brother, right? A better student. And then we also talked about what you're going to do in the future. So who all completed their possible selves information? I think most of you did. I think I saw you writing. Everyone did very good. And I love the tree that you did, what you value. And we have them all around the room, what you value. Well, right now I'm going to talk about maturity, but we're going to come back to that. And what we're going to discuss about it is, what do you think it means to you? Somebody give me, and I need a volunteer to come up and write. And volunteer. Okay, Mark. She's going to come up, and I want you to tell me what you think it means to you.
Wait, you want me to tell you, or?
No, it's right. So anyone can tell me. Go ahead.
Maturity for me is like when you can redirect like others around you, like you're not afraid to like be yourself or like say stuff that when something wrong, and like you have integrity like when nobody else like around you.
Integrity. Leadership. That's what it sounds like. Yes. Common sense. Just write it on any of those lines there. Oh, just write it all over. What's another one? Oh. Responsibility. Responsibility. Yes, I was looking for that. Speak up, Brent. Perseverance? Is that what you said? Okay.
Being able to accept if you're wrong.
Taking responsibility for your actions. It's okay to say that I'm wrong. Respectful. Independent. Oh, wow. Very independent. Okay. One more. I didn't hear from you. Positive. So you have your maturity measure there. Now this is something that you can keep for yourself, and make sure you put it in your folder.
Incarcerate. And guess who they love to incarcerate? Why?
No, they make money out of it.
Profit. They make money.
Yeah, salary the federal government is most prisons are ran by private organizations.
Not most.
Not most.
All most.
All of them.
They even on the stock exchange. The stock exchange. Prisons on the stock exchange.
But guess what? But guess what was the first thing that was put on the stock exchange? Black people. We want to stop. There's laws on the books right now that still say we are unequal to a white man. When I see young people like y'all not serious, it burns me. It burns me. Because you don't know yourself. You don't know yourself. I gave y'all the best parts. Y'all can outthink. Y'all can outrun whatever the situation may be. But you just don't study what you are as far as the best at. And at some particular point, the Creator said, with it, they didn't want the gift I gave you, take it away. Find your passion in life. Find your gift. Be determined. Those handouts that I gave you, it says Caucasian people have the least amount of melanin and they start aging after the age of 25. 25. You are equipped with the most amount of melanin, and if you take care of it, harness right, and be spiritual, you don't start aging till after 60. Carl Barnes, research analyst. Research his work. You got smartphones, start looking that up. Stop playing some of them games and look up who you are. Ain't no laughing matter, because when you look at the world, it's serious business. They hunt you all. But they can't hunt you if you choose to be spiritual and you say, I ain't falling for this. But I have never been back to a zoo. Do you see, have you ever seen a gorilla eating coconuts? No. Why does he not eat? You see him eat bananas, right? Why does he eat bananas instead of coconuts?
I mean, that's what they say.
What, say that. What you say? This is natural habitat. But why can we get away? Why are we the only race that gets away? Marriage, family, eating right, protecting our community, talk about one another. Young man, Dave. You know why we do it, Dave? We don't respect our natural habitat. So have y'all learned this? What have y'all learned from all this? I want to hear something. Don't get quiet. Come on.
I think what I've learned, or like what could be taken out of this, is that we have more self-worth than we actually think.
Absolutely. There it is.
That's
There it is. Brother Davis, can you comment on what you saw in Africa too? I want to share with you something that's the most important thing that you feel that could be beneficial to help.
I saw black people in charge.
Make me want to start
I
dancing.
saw black people in charge of everything.
What you all know about Shaka Zulu?
Heard of? Yeah, African king.
Go ahead. You're very welcome. No. I want to connect with what he said too. We pulled up to an airport named Shaka Zulu that rivaled any of the major international airports in the United States. Everybody was black. Everybody was black. I'm standing in the airport, Robin is touching me, come on, I'm just looking around like, wow. Wow. Everybody was black. Everybody was black. He had a safari, 300 miles. 300 acres, I'm sorry, not miles, acres. Of animals just roaming everywhere. True story. I have pictures of it. Young black men, get yourself together. Go ahead.
Can I add something on to this just to kind of tie into what Ron Davis said? My man says it's easier. He thinks it might be easier. I think somebody said it. He thinks it's easier to get a job than
That was this young man.
that it's easier to get a job than to start your own business though. But most likely if you get a job, what persuasion will be your boss? A white what?
White.
And if it's not a white male, then who will it be? Most likely. Huh?
A white female?
A female of some sort. Rarely do you see any black man in leadership in any company. It's rare.
Yep.
So it's why? Because we don't do it. If you go back, some guys have probably, these other guys probably read like the Willie Lynch letters. That's a product of slavery. That's a product of slavery. That's exactly what they did. They said, you know what? We'll negotiate through the women. They would just do inhumane things to the men and belittle the man and separate the man out from his family and make an example out of him to ingrain it in their heads. And they said they don't know how long this will last. It could be for hundreds of years to come. And hundreds of years later, right now to this day, we're still living that out. You know what I'm saying? It's a product of slavery. It just keeps going. And so it takes somebody to break the cycle. And that starts with you. And then you train somebody else. But that's where it starts. Somebody has to recognize this, and I'm going to do something different. I'm going to go against the grain. Yep. I'm not going to keep doing and repeating things. I'm not going to just keep being, what is it called when you keep doing the same thing over and over?
Redundant.
And expecting different results. Insanity. I'm not going to go insane.
Loony.
Keep doing the same thing over and over what my ancestors have done, what this person's done. I'm going to recognize this. I'm going to press pause and put this thing in reverse though, but you have to make a difference. You have to make a difference. But
I feel like the reason why that's like we don't really see that in today's world, like where black businesses are like really being supported, and people think that it's easier to get a job than to start your own business, because whenever a black person does start a business, they hardly get support from anybody because we're too busy supporting the other races, including the white communities, opposed to our own. And we're more concerned about like thinking of ourselves and, you know, the community as a whole.
That's true. And that's why we talked about self-value and self-worth, how you see yourself. Because if you don't see yourself as you worth something, then you'll act ignorant and go give your money to anybody. My wife will tell you, the number one thing with me is I back black.
that's the thing. Is what's the first thing you do when you get your money? And one thing you can do different is you get your money, make sure you spend something with black business.
And I know that's a problem sometimes because, you know, ain't license and ain't bond. But you just have to continue to reach deep and find the ones who are professional, who are courteous, who have all their credentials. Because you are taking your future into account. You've been taught not to take your future, not to value because you were coming from poverty.
Go to Walmart.
See, everybody else knows yourself. You don't know how special you were made. So once you start, you become dangerous when you become armed and you know who you are.
Thank you.
The answers are there. The answers are there.
Can I go back to something you said initially? You started talking, you know, you started talking about
The person or perpetrator or whoever was doing it, it would be wise if you pull them aside and say, hey man, that ain't cool. But in a very respectful way. Because,
I'm sorry.
go ahead.
But the thing is, now a lot of people ain't going like, oh, okay. They be like, man, why you my business, bro?
But you can still tell them in a respectful way.
But see, yeah, you can still tell them in a respectful way. That, hey, man,
Sometimes people back down just because they continue on and they keep going on because nobody speaks up.
that's exactly the point. That's exactly the point.
All it takes is just that one voice.
Remember how the discussion came up earlier where leaders are leaders instead of followers? These 21 young people, just think if they could have had someone that was a leader who said, hey, I heard what's going on with you, blah, 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 blah. Why don't you rethink this and we do this? You think we could have had a better outcome if we just could have saved one of those young people? And that's how you young people have to start thinking. You understand? You got to start thinking because you might not think, oh man, that don't bother me, that don't affect me. But in reality, it does. In reality, it does. See, because you have to start looking at things from a group standpoint. From a group standpoint, as opposed to, oh, that ain't got nothing to do with me. I ain't got nothing to do with that. Yeah, of course.
Why do our race and you, we as black people, why do we always talk about the people in their same skin? Like,
Why we up? Talk a little loud.
like, why do black people talk about other black people when we struggle in the same race as everyone else is? Like, we dealing with racism and that, and we don't talk about our own kind.
Okay, that's a good question. That's a good question. Here's the answer. What was the main thing we talked about this morning? Here's the thing. We don't know who we are. Any of you all didn't know that God blessed you all with all these functions. 12 melanin centers. Every other ethnic group, Asians have 7, Caucasians have 4. Because we've been educated in North America, and we picked up every bad habit because we went through 400 years of slavery. And that's including Jim Crow, and then after that, segregation, Reconstruction, everything. So when we've been taught to be negative, the first thing we're going to do is you're going to be taught to be negative toward your peers, the same people. So that's why these retreats and conferences and lectures are so important, because we're trying to reinforce negative behavior. You understand? So when you know who you are, you won't talk about your brother. You will love your brother. You follow me? So that's why we talk about one another. So that's why I was trying to get you all to understand. Y'all got the Cadillac of organs. Seen the movie Get Out, where they was trying to steal organs? The country of Israel is the #1 country on this planet that imports and tries to take organs. You don't have to go there. They can get you. So my point, but without all that, the point is you have to know what you are and who you are, and you have to realize that I'm not going to do things to be self-destructive, because the #1 law of nature is what? Self-preservation. That's the #1 law of nature. So if you violate it, that means you don't have respect for self, right? All right.
That's the key.
That is definitely the key. Now, we're going to get a little bit another subject. Condoms and dating and all that stuff. Say you were in a situation with a young lady and she says, I know we about to do something, but you don't have to wear a condom. I want to hear your hands. What you gonna do?
You can say you can sit out my house.
What you gonna say?
I say if you don't use it, if you don't use it,
I'm just saying, I'm too young to have babies.
use it, test.
I like that. That's what you listen to today. Here's the deal. Here's the deal. African American households. Listen to this. Listen. 80% of African American households are headed by a woman. There is no father role models in the household. This young man right here said, my dad would kill me. You know why? Because there's a dad in the household. We try to teach this stuff and hammer this stuff home. And we try to get you all to understand the seriousness of these situations, because like it or not, you're going to be faced with them. And one short-term thrill could equal one long-term ill. So, these situations, when they come about, if you all have it in your mind where, okay, I think, well, first let me ask you this. How many of you all have fathers in the household besides this young man? In the household, where living with you, or married to your mom. One out of how many? No, two. Two out of how many of you are here? Count out 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 3 out of 10. That's 30%. 30%. So this organization, family, was created on how do we increase these numbers within the family structure. Because that's what's going to get you through. When you have a father in the household. It's a deep subject. Very key. Because research and data shows that a lot of kids, when the couple split, it affects the children more than anything. So, when you see this, I'm a prime example. I grew up, my mother was an activist, but I grew up in a single parent household until she remarried. But when I didn't see a dad, my dad, my original dad, I couldn't understand why he didn't want to have a relationship with me. But it made me a better person because I said, if I have a family, I ain't gonna do this. So, young man, that's another answer to his question, the young man that was here. That's another reason why we down one another. So this generation, like I said, I gave you all a handout that had 3 scriptures where God talked about you all are born to lead. He separated the elders from the children and said, I'm going to give the land to the children. That still applies, whether if it was in the Old Testament or not. But you all, y'all got social media. Y'all got all these distractions. But a leader never gets distracted because he always has that goal. No. Well, that's okay. That means you maybe own a restaurant. Because if you own it, you can eat all day. But if you're working in it, you eat. What means you're going to eat? You're going to get fired. So you like a restaurant. So you like to eat, right? What's your favorite food? So you need to open up a restaurant as soon as possible. You see how easy that is? You laying the tracks down to narrow through the lane. But if you don't lay no tracks down, how you gonna get through the lane? Dr. David. Huh? So you want to mentor young people. Doesn't matter if they lost. You just want to help young people. You can open up a boys' home. So you got to go home with what, David? Write that down. And put that above your mirror and look at it. TJ, I know some scientists and some engineers and some other people, but I want to hear what you all want to do. Because that's what you got to start with. Once you find your passion. Like I said earlier, I don't care if it's picking up trash. As long as you know you can pick up. I know a man that liked to pick up trash. His name was, it escapes me. But he owns the company called Waste Management. You know what Waste Management is? And he also owns the Miami Dolphins because he liked to pick up trash. And he figured out if I had a worldwide company where everybody takes my containers and my trucks come and dump them. Do you know the man that anybody in here have a super soaker?
A what?
Super soaker, the squirt with water?
Yeah.
Do you know that was a black man? Multi-billionaire. You know why? Because he started as an engineer and he started exactly what I'm trying to tell you. He put his ideas on paper and looked at them every day. TJ.
Well, I'm kind of passionate about like the environment, ecosystem. I also like fixing things. That's something I'm really good at, like fixing things.
Good with your hand?
Yeah. So I was thinking like, what I would do is become like an environmental engineer. So like, with like the future of the world to make sure that we can stay on the planet longer, or prevent like harmful things in the world. And also like this kind of side thing, like recently I kind of wanted to like become like a surgeon, because also like the 90s, I think when you do like the cardiothoracic surgery to fix like hearts.
Put it on paper. Put it on paper. And when you got that smartphone, you got to do the research on that. Can't play Candy Crush. Just research. Research it, put it on paper. You'd be surprised. See, because the goal is to start while you're young now.
Such as what?
What you say, civil issues?
Civil issues such as black community or issues for like our country as a whole. Need to be a politician to be able to have this kind of voice and like represent like African community along with the other issues. Just trying to get some type of representation in our capital so that hopefully people should change in the way that we
So that was quite a few things there that you pretty much said that's good. But, you know, to his point, engineering and surgeon, to your point, you just have a lot of things you want to do. You want to really be busy.
I don't have to decide on like, I like both of them. I don't have to decide sort of career and stuff.
Okay. Gotta write it down on paper and look at it every day.
I want to be a civil rights attorney.
Civil rights attorney, that's good, sir. That's good. I knew a civil rights attorney, brother named Lyle Champagne out of Illinois. It was awesome. You know, my mother was an activist too. And she was an activist in the 60s. And
Somebody snoring.
anyway, civil rights attorney, that's important too because you want to fight for injustice for the people who don't have a voice, right?
Yeah, I feel like we don't have enough black people that are representing us in the courts, you know. I feel like we need that.
There's definitely a need for that. I've been working in the court system for 20-some years, so it's definitely a need for that. But it's got to be in your heart, not just in your head. It's rough work. They don't send the best prosecutors in the world to counter everything you try to do. They don't send agencies to do it as well. I'm telling you. But what? The biggest thing, what I'm trying to tell you is that if spirituality is right, he gonna keep them off your back. But if spirituality ain't right, it'll be all for naught. Young man,
Well, I think I want to be engineers, like help people cook, like in school. I was getting.
you said what now?
Like engineer.
An engineer? Okay, what type of engineer?
I don't know. But like in school, I get put out in some special class, go to engineering school, and like it's my teacher's husband. He like put me out for coding and stuff like that. And I was thinking on the side, maybe be like a media or something. These people in my class would be saying.
Well, that's clearly shows that could be a profession. A lot of people have chosen to be comedians and branched off into other areas. So it's, you know, it can be done. But you gotta, you know what you do? You gotta write it down on paper. And you gotta look at it every day. Don't you look at your phone every day? Look at your phone every day, don't you? So you gotta start looking at your goals every day.
Architecture and engineering.
Architecture and engineering. Huh? Doctor, vet doctor.
Music hats. A veterinarian. Engineer.
What type?
I don't know.
Haven't decided. You gotta figure out what's your personality and what's a fit for you. Because engineering can range into a broad range of fields.
I looked on the internet and there's a lot of choices.
See, it don't become serious because you send a signal to the brain. Again, we're talking about the pineal gland. You got to figure out how to send signals to that, to where it's going to stick. This is what I want to do. And it don't come serious till you write it down. And look at it every day. Because I told you you have an ancestral memory. You can remember anything.
I want to just reinforce that, man. I work for this company, man. And it's the man I work for, he grew up as a farmer. Way out in the sticks of Missouri. Went to college, he went to college, took a degree in agricultural engineering, which is a fancy term. He went to college to be a farmer, basically, you know what I'm saying? And he doesn't do anything that has to do with farming. He works in the pipe business, steel fabrication, owns a big multi-million-dollar company, you know what I'm saying? Run like $80 million a year, you know what I'm saying? Is operating revenue. But what he does, just going back to what Brother Ingram right here is saying about writing down, this is something he does every year. At the end of the year, comes to center during our last financial meeting, he hands out these little cards. And he got to write down, he asks everybody to write down the 3 yearly goals. And he does it. He has them going all the way back for years. And he looks, and every year he tells you, he can look and see these are the goals I achieved, these are the goals I achieved. And he plans out throughout the years. So your goal, it should be a smart goal. It should be something simple.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Measurable.
Measurable.
Attainable.
Attainable.
Realistic.
We
need a time frame.
And time frame. You know what I'm saying? He does. This is a yearly goal he sets. He says, these are 3 things I want to accomplish in this year. And the reason he says it blows his mind. He runs this company. He's got his company worth all these millions of dollars because of where he comes from. But he attributes it all back to just going and setting his goal. He writes them down. And he carries them in his wallet. He has a little wallet, a little thing. He has them, and things like this thick. It's the only thing in it. No credit cards, no nothing. It's just his little goals. So he multi-millionaire entrepreneur. Started his own business. He was selling stuff. He was selling stuff for somebody else. The guy tried to cheat him out of his money. He quit. He started his own business. Boom. When he was like 21.